Hell yeah, what's up out there, y'all? Philly, baby, Super Bowl champs, Eagles, baby. I love it so much. As a Steelers fan, fuck the Patriots. Love it. Cool, we're Ratboys, we're from Chicago, Illinois. We're so psyched to be back at Philamoca. We're on tour at the Underbar, and like, it's good. We're gonna play some songs. Let's get it. bobtail cat, it's exotic. But then later she's like, no, he just like, so he has a tail in the shelter or whatever. face the day when we are cold to try. Time is coming to leave him in the campfire free. Let's blind your eyes on the change. Treat you when the nurse says here's the need. His face was gray and it was full of tears. His face equals as the medicine destroys him. These make us realize he's long This exercise told my set it's about being miserable. Shouts out. Shouts the fuck out. Damn.
called GN. Stands for Good Night. It's what we're having. Love it. Always have a good night in Philly. Just informed by Liz that Dottie's Donuts is going to be closed tomorrow morning because of the impending snow. No! I am deeply... Didn't even tell you all that yet. Dottie's is closed. Fuck. It's okay. We will somehow survive. We will eat the radically inferior Washington, D.C. donuts. You know, everything there is just weird and political. I don't want any of that. I don't want any immigration controversy wrapped up in my donuts. Maybe I do. Maybe we need to find a donut shop that supports immigrants, and then we can just go there. Hell yeah. We're gonna play a few new songs. We put out an EP a couple weeks ago, and these 3 songs are on it. GL stands for good luck. So much goodness. Okay. about losing faith in someone when they lie to your face. Alright, we're gonna try this. We're gonna try this ripper and punk way that we start the song. No counting, just. Is everyone ready? We've never attempted this before.
That was how it started.
Okay. I am talking to you. You changed. It's about time where we tried to ice my friend Kelly Money, sneak up on her with a Smirnoff Ice, and then she'd have to chug it. It's an old college prank. She refused. We said, Kelly, you've changed. It's bullshit. So, you've changed. For playing, they're amazing. Really love them. We were lucky to get to play with them in Chicago a couple weeks ago. Our drummer Marcus has an awesome project called Wrong Numbers, and he was releasing a tape, and the Obsessives just happened to be in town, and they played that show, and it was really cool. Yeah, that was fucking bonkers. Small world, baby, small world. And of course, the fabulous Wunderbar is about to get up here as soon as we depart, and they're like chock full of surprises and manic energy, and I really love it. Well, not manic energy. Is that redundant? Manic energy? No. Who knows? It's all just words. Nothing's real. Sweet. Yeah. They're fucking awesome. We're just psyched to be on tour with them. Psyched to be back in Philly before this garbage weather returns. We're used to that shit. Well, the song's about power positive thinking. Picture yourself. Kobe Bryant probably said, one day I'm gonna win an Oscar. And you won a fucking Oscar. One day we're gonna win a fucking Oscar. We got to 10 years. We'll make a damn good movie. Make a damn good movie about Philamoca. so much for coming out to the show tonight and for coming early to see the Obsessives and us. It's really awesome to be back in Philly. We'll be back here this summer. Yay! Woo! Nothing planned, but we will come. Might just come to fucking hang. We'll come to get our grease pole. That's all I want. Done it again. Played a fucking set in a sweater. This sucks. Why did I do this? Wow. Too far down. I'm hot. I'm bothered. Okay. Yeah, there's a really good Wikipedia article to accompany this next song. Highly recommend. Maybe in the next minute and a half that we are getting our shit together, y'all could skim that real quick. It's about a person named Douglas Mawson, M-A-W-S-O-N. Very fascinating story of survival and harrowing. What's the word? He's a fucking badass. He survived a crazy ordeal in Antarctica. And this song, without cannibalism, he did eat his sled dogs, but he had to. And the song is told from his perspective, and it's a tribute to him. And then I'd also have to go through some crazy shit. Hey, this one's a D.
The sun crept up to my